everyone, it's Margaret Manning here, and welcome to Mornings with 60 and Me. Today is Friday, it's August the 12th, and welcome to almost the weekend. I'm having my morning cup of tea. Today I've got something a bit unusual. It's rosehip and hibiscus. It's a very dark red tea, and I put a bit of honey in today, so it's really lovely. So hope you're enjoying your morning so far. I'm going to bring you up to speed on some of the events in the world and share a conversation today that I hope you find of value and interest. So let's get started. In the United States, news from the world of department stores. Macy's, which has been a legend really, United States shopping, is shutting 100 of its stores. And I think it's obviously just dealing with a changing demographic of shoppers. A lot of us are shopping online now, and that department store, environment is not so popular. But I wonder, did you shop at Macy's? And how do you feel about shopping online? Is it something that you do? Be interested to get your comments. Just when I thought things were not going to get any stranger with the election in the United States, I read that a young man had tried to climb Trump Tower the other day. He got to the 21st floor before the police yanked him in and arrested him. He said he wanted to chat with Donald Trump, and I'm just every day watching the news from the States and seeing how interesting it's getting. So I'm sure people that live in the United States are inundated with election fever. So that's the story from there. In the United Kingdom, a sad story, the Duke of Westminster, a very wealthy man who owns basically half of London and was worth £8 billion, died suddenly of a heart attack. And his inheritance goes now to his son, a young man, Hugh Grosvenor, and he's only 25, and big responsibility now to take on this role. What's interesting about this story is that Hugh Grosvenor, the son, is younger than his two sisters, but because of this primogeniture law in England, he inherits everything. He inherits the peerage, the title, the money, the property, and his sisters don't get anything. So it's one of these very ancient laws. If you remember when the Duchess of Cambridge and Prince William had their baby, they actually in their family changed the rule so that if Catherine had had a girl, she would have been in line for the monarchy. But this particular family, the Westminster family, have not done this. So anyway, Hugh Grosvenor is a very wealthy young man. We'll see how that plays out. In the Olympics, some really fun stories. There's a lot of swimming going on right now. And Team Spain, a lady called Belmonte Garcia, won the first ever gold medal for Spain in swimming. And Team Kazakhstan, I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that right, has won the first gold medal in swimming. Team USA continues. Michael Phelps wins his daily gold medal. It's 22 now for his performance in I think it was the 200-meter individual medley. And the women's gymnast who was won for the basic all-round star performing on the floor and on bars. She was, of course, Simone Biles. Simone, if you haven't watched her videos, I highly recommend it. She is a total inspiration, and her story is really amazing too, how she, where she came from, her background, her family life, and she is just a beautiful woman and 19 years old, doing great. Team Fiji, I've got to mention Team Fiji because they have never won a medal, and they won the gold for rugby. And apparently rugby is their team sport in Fiji, their country sport in Fiji. So they did well and won the gold. So Team Fiji, good job. In Canada now, back to another topic that we cover a lot is the terrorist attacks. In Canada, the police yesterday arrested and actually shot and killed a man who was planning a terrorist attack. They had been following him and knew of his activities and his plans, and it was apparently in the next 72 hours an attack in an urban area in Canada. They approached him, he detonated a small device, a bomb, and before he could detonate the second one, he was shot. So even Canada, a place that we often think about as not being, affected by terrorism, also has its challenges. So that's in Canada. In Germany, of course, they're trying to balance their situation with terrorist threats and also the influx of refugees into their country. So they are trying to do some things in the short term that are going to make it safer for German people. And they've made some recommendations about basically if a person in Germany has dual citizenship, if they're found to be involved in any kind of terrorist or fighting or supporting ISIS, they will lose their German citizenship. And there's some other things that are being recommended to try to keep a handle on this situation in Germany. And they're not going to do a burqa ban, which France did, which I think is an interesting decision. That's the costume or the outfit that women wear, covering their faces and bodies. And so in Germany, they're not going to ban the burqa. In France, they have. So that's some update on that. Also, I just heard literally 10 minutes ago on the news that there have been some bombings in Thailand. And this is really, really sad. I mean, these are apparently in some tourist areas in Thailand. There's Hua Hin, which is a very popular tourist area. And there's a series of attacks that have taken place in the last few hours. And I know that some foreign nationals have been involved and hurt. Have not heard of casualties. But of course, Thailand, that part of the world, is always vulnerable to these kinds of extremist groups, and not just ISIS, but there's all kinds of other groups in play. No one's claimed responsibility yet in Thailand. So that's the news of the world. Not always happy news, but I feel like it's important to cover it and not just cover United States news. Most of our people in the community are from the United States. Well, I say most, about 60%. And so I know that the United States news is interesting, but I hope that you find it valuable to hear news from around the world as well. So this next thing I want to talk about is body image. So this is a topic that we do talk about quite a bit on 60andMe, and I want just to raise the issue with you and get your feedback. Now, it started for me because we published an article a few weeks ago by one of our bloggers, Lisa Dunkel, and she was writing a story about taking selfies and about how, women and in the 60s should be, trying to take selfies too. It's not just for young people. And so she wrote a fun, really kind of frivolous story about selfies. And the response that we got was quite amazing. A lot of women said things like, I don't ever take a picture of myself. I hate how I look. I hate my face. I don't think I'm pretty anymore. So, pictures no. And so I thought a lot about this and realized that from the comments that we got from this article, that a lot of women don't feel good about their body image. They don't feel good about how they look in their 60s. And I listened then to a story by a woman in Australia. Her name is Taryn Brumfitt, and she's the founder of a group called Body Image Movement. And she's done a movie called Embrace, I think it's just called Embrace Movie. And it's about a trip she took to interview women around the world, I think about 100 people, different ages, about their body image. And she asked them, what was the one word that you would use to describe your body? And, younger kids were saying powerful, energetic, strong, and lovable, comfortable. And the older women tended to say things like confused, ugly, oh, it's okay, not too bad, very different view of their body image. And so she was obviously trying to figure out why that was, and realize that, of course, a lot of it is society's stereotypes about what is a beautiful person, what is a beautiful face, and how advertising, social norms, all kind of go together to make women, especially women over 60, feel that they're not beautiful, that their face is not pretty anymore, and that they actually hate their face or hate the way they look. So her movement is to really encourage diversity in body image, to enable women to have positive attitude to how they look and how they feel about their bodies, and that basically we start thinking about things that are important in life and not about the way that we look. But this is a really fascinating topic, and I would like to get your feedback on this. And I'm going to ask you a question later that maybe help us to start a conversation to understand why some of us feel bad about the way we look, and to encourage our community to I don't know, just to be more accepting and to embrace our age and our physical changes. And so my last topic is kind of going to sound like a bit of a juxtaposition to that, maybe a little bit of a contradiction. And that is an article about losing weight. Now, it's not about losing weight to make you look better, to make your face look better, or to make you, feel that you're more beautiful. It's about being healthy and having a healthy attitude to aging and doing things for your body that are going to help you to live longer, have a healthier, more active, dynamic life. And I found an article in Huffington Post about things you can do to encourage your body to get in a healthy eating habit. And as a byproduct, you just might lose a little bit of weight, which does make you feel more energetic and stronger. And it kind of all goes together. Being healthy, feeling healthy, and feeling that you look good. So I'm going to read these few little items, and then you can take a look at the article and get more information. But, sometimes the weekend is a good place to start with, just improving our eating habits. So first thing, have a plan. Make a plan. First thing, get rid of all the stuff in your kitchen that you don't want to eat. It's much easier to not eat it if it's not there than to try to beat yourself up for not buying the right things. So just clear out your cupboards. Second thing is eat fresh. If you're in a town where you can go to a market or a farmer's market, do that. Eat local food. Choose high quality carbs. Carbs are good for you, but don't eat the ones that are going to hurt, going to build up your unhealthy eating. Try things like beans and grains. They're good carbs. Eat every 4 hours. I tend to do this just because I'm a nibbler and I sit at my desk a lot, but it's eating healthy food every 4 hours. Don't have to, and portion size is another one, but eat every 4 hours. Another thing they suggest is to cut out soda. And this is empty calories, simple, non-nutritious, empty calories, cut them out. Stop eating before bedtime. I do this, and it's like 2 hours before bedtime. The experts say to stop eating. And don't eat in bed. Your body can't apparently metabolize food when you're sleeping. So it's not a good idea to eat after 2 hours before bedtime. Next thing, measure your food, your servings, with an ice cream scoop. So a scoop of rice, a scoop of potato, that's enough. Eat breakfast, important. Everyone says this all the time, that I read it repeatedly. Eating breakfast is good for you, and it stops you from having these hunger pangs where you nibble cookies and high carb foods after 9 o'clock in the morning. So eat a good breakfast. Next thing is to eat protein at every meal. So whether it's dairy or cheese or lentils, and whatever you can find that's good in protein, weave that into every meal if you can. And also watch your portions. So if you're going to eat chicken, for example, like the size of a deck of cards, it says, or 2 eggs, just not to go too crazy. But protein every meal is good for you. And I think the big rule that this article highlighted was to be consistent. Just try to get into some eating habits that don't make you feel like you're starving yourself and that you're punishing yourself. And in fact, that's another thing that I would mention is Tim Ferriss, who wrote a book called The 4-Hour Work Week and also Your 4-Hour Body. He said to treat yourself once a week. Have a cheat day. Go out and have something, as much chocolate cake as you want. Just go for it. 1 day a week. It's good for you, according to Tim Ferriss. So that's it. Now, I would like to just close by, first of all, reminding you that if you want to get these news bulletins first, go to 60andme.com/mornings, and you'll be the first to know when the news is announced. And also, my final note of the day is to give a shout out to our Woman of the Day. And our woman, this is, by the way, remember, if you haven't heard this before, I'm asking you, if you want to be featured on 60andMe, just your name and some details, just put in the comment section below 3 or 4 lines about what you're doing in your 60s to empower yourself. What you've done, something you took on that you weren't doing before, something new that that has made your life special in your 60s. So our woman of the day today is Joy Lennox. Joy Lennox. Now, Joy is 84, and she is in our 60andMe community. So she is 84 years old. She said when she was, she said she's mentally 40. Sounds familiar. But when she was 66, she said she took her English literature exam and passed it. And she said she loved to read Shakespeare and all the classics, and it inspired her to write. This is in her 60s, 66. So she started writing, and she now has published 6 books. And I did a little checking because she didn't give me the names, but there's 2 that I found on Amazon called The Catalyst and My Gentle War. So these are 2 books. She's written 6, and this is all after 66. And she lives in Spain, and says that she loves her writing group. It's called Wordplay, and she loves the women in that group. And she also is a member of the U3A, which is the University of the Third Age, which is free courses for people over 60. And she's very involved in that group as well. So Joy, it is great to have you here. She wishes us all a meaningful life, and I think that's a fabulous way to end today. Have a meaningful life. Whatever you do today, make it count, make it important for you. So I'll see you again tomorrow on Mornings with 60andMe. And my question for the day is very simply, back to our story about body image. What is the one word that you would use to describe your body? Just put it in the section below. We'll have a conversation. Let's support each other, and like the comment, give each other encouragement. This is what we're here for in 60andMe. So the question is, what is the one word that you would use to describe your body? Thanks for being here, everyone. Take very good care. Have a great Friday. We'll see you tomorrow.